I'm not skilled to understand who God's will and God's plan. I only know at his right hand, same one who's my Savior. And to me that means, I have no reason to be afraid because I have God with me at all times. There's no reason for me to be scared of being in front of you, even though I am right now. And there's nothing I can do to prevent that. But, I always know that Jesus is with me and he's going to give me the strength to get through this. So anyway, again, my name is Michael Shipley and this is my story. I grew up in a really strong Christian home. Probably for, 100 years, all my family's been Christians. So I know all these Bible stories, and I grew up in the church, and I probably never missed 2 Sundays my entire life, And this kind of went on, and I just kind of went to church because that was what I did. It was just my life. I just went to church because my parents went to church. Everyone went to church. Of course you go to church. But it wasn't really anything I really chose to do. It was just something that I wasn't forced to, but I didn't know anything else. And so around 4th grade, my dad had switched jobs. He wasn't really happy where he was working, and it was all the way in Washington. I lived in Michigan, and I was blown away because I was 11 years old, and for my entire life I lived in Michigan. It's not like we moved around a lot, and I was so scared. My grandma had just died, and I was just, I was scared about finding a new church and meeting new people. All my best friends were there, and so I had to go. So I moved. We came over into Washington, and we started. We found an apartment before we bought a house, and we started church, shopping is what they call it. And we started going to a different church every Sunday, trying to find one that was similar to the one we went to before. My dad was really into music, and he was always leading up front and leading choir and stuff. So we wanted to find a church where he could do some of that, and because that was something he was passionate about. And so we finally stopped at the place we are at now, which is Lakeside Christian Church in Seattle, Washington. And I started going to this thing called Clufty 6, which was 5th and 6th graders. It was a thing before youth group for kids to go to on Wednesday nights. And there was this lady there, her name was Miss Nancy, probably one of the best people you'll ever meet. If you're lucky enough to meet her, you'll remember it for the rest of your life, trust me. And I started going there every week, and I didn't know anyone, and I was still scared about, I'd gone to a lot of churches, and so I wasn't new to church, but I didn't know anyone. And they had talked about having a personal relationship with Jesus. And I was like, what's that? I thought God was some huge dude that you could never be close to. He was some unreachable guy that everyone just kind of cowered in fear to. And, there was no way you could have a personal relationship with Jesus. And so I started questioning about that. And then I learned about baptism. And I'd seen it in my other church, but it wasn't really enforced that much. And I realized, I need to get baptized. I need to commit my life. I'd accepted Christ. I had asked him in my life before, but I needed something that was going to show me that I was changed. I needed some kind of symbol to show everyone that I was different. And so I got baptized. And from that point on, I was just so joyful, so happy. And I made my best friend, best friends everywhere in our church. I know everyone in our youth group. And I kind of went along, and I was not really happy with our youth group for a while. And I was kind of debating about whether I was going to keep going or not, which was kind of hard because we were so connected to the church already, which would be a bad thing for me to not be at youth group. Derek came into my life, and we changed pastors, and I wasn't really connected at all in youth group. I knew everyone, and I was kind of a goof off, and but I wasn't really connected at all to the people there. And Derek kind of helped me get connected, which is why I love him so much. And I started getting connected. I started doing the slides for the songs, and it started getting progressively more and more. And I was a Christian, and I made mistakes, but God was with me. And it's a journey. You're not going to become a Christian that's just going to be easy for you. Don't believe that. People blame God all the time for things that happen in their life, and it's not God's fault. And there's I think one of my good friends, Manuel, told me this. There's a story about a man who was walking along with God, and it's a parable. And he's walking along with God down a road, and every time he gets to a hard point in his life, he only sees one-track footprints. And he's like, why? He's all, questioning God. Why would you not be with me in the time I really need you? And God says, I was with you. I was carrying you. There was one set of footprints because he was carrying him through the hard times. He didn't take him instantly to the other side. He wouldn't have learned anything if he was instantly on the other side. Don't think that becoming a Christian is going to make you instantly happy. It's a journey, but you have someone to go along with you. He's your best friend. And so that's really where I am right now, just trying to grow as much as I can in my faith, read my Bible every day, come to youth group, and just praise God in any way I